the most disturbing videos on the internet today. Let's dive in. Man, y'all was a little late to the party, don't y'all think? He should have been in way before then. Y'all tripping. And look at him just walking towards it. Okay, I'ma see him, George. If you're enjoying these videos, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button because we do these videos every single day. And I'd love to see you tomorrow. So let's get straight back into the action.
So you're telling me the aliens aren't abducting people, but the elites are?
Exactly. They let people believe it's aliens, so no one asks the real question.
What real questions?
Like why abductions always happen near military bases, why abductees report seeing men in black right after, and why those UFOs in the sky never leave Earth's atmosphere.
Wait, you're saying the ships aren't alien at all?
Not even a little. They're military crafts, technology, decades ahead of what the public knows about. Anti-gravity, silent propulsion, all developed in secret. The whole aliens thing, just a cover story.
Okay, but why abduct people?
Experiments, genetic testing, neural implants, maybe even full-blown human modification. They've done it before. They can do whatever they want and no one questions it.
So all these UFO sightings lately?
So they want us looking up, chasing aliens. So we never realized the real horrors happening right here in their underground labs for entertainment purpose only.
That is a wild theory. What if there are no aliens and it's just us up there?
In 1993, I was hired as the concept designer to the movie Roswell. And after completing that assignment, I decided to find out what the real spacecraft and the real bodies looked like.
Did he look like he was reading from cue cards or what?
Having nothing to do with the film. My research took me into a 4-year journey of interviewing military officers and other researchers who supplied with me the data that I needed to do full forensic composites of what the flight crew and the spacecraft looked like that crashed at Roswell on July 4th, 1947 at 11 o'clock in the evening. Much to my surprise, it was not a disc. It was a winged vehicle, a wave rider, one of those lifting body, transatmospheric, high-speed recon type of vehicles. It was amazing what we came up with. It was extremely unique. We found out many years later that everybody, including Ben Rich, knew that this vehicle had been the design Rosetta Stone, the holy grail of aerospace designs. We found that inside this vehicle had microprocessors that looked like the neuroganglia tissue that you see in a human brain. The entire vehicle was found to have biomorphic characteristics, those being called biomimetic or biomimicry. This vehicle, when by itself, exhibited artificial intelligence, but when you plugged all 7 flight crew members into all 7 flight crew stations, you had an interface between their physical bodies and the neurological structure of the spacecraft, which was exotic metal and non-organic components, mostly crystalline metals in exotic mixtures. That way, the vehicle became, in essence, akin to a living being with multiple brain nodes. In 1993, I was hired as the concept designer to the movie Roswell.
Not only did that look like a UFO, it could have possibly been a USO, how it was shaped like a manta ray. Very interesting.
They're eating the mermaids. Just when we thought things could get weirder, this guy just came out and said that he was invited to an A-list celebrity party where they were not only serving up mermaid, but after he decided to reject and leave, he found a whole cooler of them. Apparently, this is nothing new because Cantinflas was one of the first celebs to build an island for them after he made a deal. They're eating
A whole cooler full of mummies? How disturbing.
That's a tornado, baby. Look how high that goes. Hey, man. Hey! Look at what we got to deal with out here. Now that's a cool tornado. That's a tornado, baby.
Supposed to run in the middle of it and act like you're an airbender. That's what I would have did. His grandmother used to feed the Kandahar giant.
I guess what I'm getting at was these giants was your family maybe leaving offerings or taking goats up, for many generations?
Yep. I believe that's exactly what happened because my dad told me that he asked his mother, like, well, that's kind of foul and weird. Like, why are you doing that? And he wasn't really like, I guess he was kind of, my grandmother was, a black magic witch. So I don't think he wanted to piss her off, but he didn't really exactly want to help her out with it. But pretty much he had asked her like, hey, how long has this been going on? And she's like, well, my grandmother is the one who taught me and her grandmother taught her. And it was like, it's only a thing with the women for some reason. I don't know why.
And I guess what I'm getting at was...
You guys know about the Kandahar giant, right?
This is the legend of the Kandahar giant and his encounter with U.S. Special Forces. It was 2002 in Kandahar during the war in... This is the legend of the Kandahar giant and his encounter with U.S. Special Forces. It was 2002 in Kandahar during the war in Afghanistan, when a U.S. Special Forces unit that specialized in rescue missions was called to duty. Their mission? To find a unit that seemed to have just vanished deep within the mountains. They wasted no time and began moving as they wanted to be back before nightfall. According to an eyewitness that was part of the Special Forces unit, they had trekked 4 miles up the side of the mountain, and they were almost to the last pinpointed location of the lost unit when they began finding broken military equipment strewn about all throughout the mountains. That's when they looked up and noticed a massive cave. As they approached the cave, they noticed a rancid smell and began seeing body parts laying all over the ground. When all of a sudden, an 18-foot tall giant flew out of the cave, spearing one of their men. Stunned, the unit immediately opens fire, letting them have it. Part 2.
The U.S. was at the height of their war in Afghanistan, when all of a sudden, a group of soldiers went MIA in the remote mountains of Kandahar. They never sent out any indication of distress, and they never even called backup or anything. They just completely vanished. After many failed attempts to make radio contact, their base decided to send in a group of the highest-ranking Special Ops soldiers to retrieve and rescue the missing soldiers. Listen up, guys. This is a search and rescue mission. We don't know what happened to them, and we don't know what's out there. But it's your guys' mission to figure it out. So either bring them back or retrieve the bodies, and make sure all equipment is accounted for, and call in the choppers because we cannot leave any of our stuff behind. And guys, watch each other's back and be vigilant. Do you understand me? They all loaded up and they started making their way towards the mountain. Their hearts raced the closer they got. What could have taken out a whole unit of men in one foul sweep? They had no idea what they were up against, but all they knew is today was going to be a tough battle and they better be on their A game. They were dropped off a ways away from where the men had disappeared. As they one by one climbed out of the truck, they were on high alert, not knowing if they were about to be ambushed or what was going to happen. As soon as they cleared the area, they knew it was time to start making their way up the mountain and search for these missing soldiers. Alright guys, area cleared, move out. Slowly, they started making their way up the mountain, until they came across a wide beaten down path. They suspected it was carved out from goats or some other mountain dwelling animal, but it was nothing they couldn't handle. They followed the trail cautiously, keeping their guns up and ready for fire. And that is when they noticed a cave opening, with the scattered army equipment all over. They knew something horrible must have happened. The men stopped. They stared at the scene, trying to make sense of it in their heads. And that's when they heard a low growl reverberating from deep within the cave. It was so loud, the men could feel the rumble deep in their chest. The men waited for orders to fire, but their commander was in complete shock. He just stood there frozen as the color rushed from his face. One of the men were positioned right at the mouth of the cave. "Get out of it!" Before he could finish, a giant spear swung from the cave, piercing one of their best men straight in the chest. Immediately, the men opened fire, shooting off as many rounds as they could at whatever was hiding within the cave. Just then, a giant 15-foot-tall creature emerged from the cave, giving out the most blood-curdling, loud roar. The men were in complete shock. In their entire careers, they have never come face-to-face with anything like this before. It had dark red hair and 6 fingers on both hands. It wore leather moccasins, and it smelled of the most disgusting putrid odor that they have ever smelled in their entire lives. They continued to shoot as many rounds as they could, desperate to drop this creature before it got to them next. After 30 seconds of wide open fire, the giant let out a ground-rumbling roar. This angered the giant even more. He took 2 more steps out of the cave and straight up grabbed one of the soldiers and flung him against the side of the mountain. The giant started to stagger. When finally, it fell to the ground. Once the men confirmed they were safe, they immediately called back to base. "We just came into contact with a 15-foot giant. He's down, but there may be others. We need backup, now!" The men anxiously waited, grasping their firearms and never taking their sights off of the cave. After what seemed like a lifetime, they finally heard the blades from the chopper overhead. The chopper loaded up the massive giant and took it to a transport plane, and that is the last time the men ever laid eyes on that awful beast. The men were still clearly shaken once they got back to the base. They were immediately called into a private room so that they could discuss what happened throughout the day. They were expecting to be paired up with a counselor or somebody that they could talk to work through what they had just experienced. But to their surprise, the exact opposite happened. They were ordered to never speak of this mission ever again, and they were told that if they did so, that their safety would be on the line. Then, one by one, they were forced to sign a non-disclosure agreement, and that is the last time that mission was ever discussed. Until one of the men couldn't take it anymore. He just had to get it off his chest, and that is when he told the world of the ungodly creatures that lurk deep within the Kandahar Mountains.
Now you might be asking yourself, what was inside that cave?
Overall, more than 20,000 artifacts were discovered. The storage pits were 2 to 4 feet deep. They were lined with grass or old basket parts filled with goods and sealed with grass and stones. The top of each pit was located level with the cave floor, which varied significantly over time. By comparing these pit top levels and the styles of artifacts, archaeologists were able to assign time periods to each pit. The cave revealed many different phases of use by Native Americans. Someone has crossed that off. Interesting. Divided into what archaeologists call stratigraphic layers. These layers form from sediments and other materials that accumulate on top of the living spaces. By comparing layers and artifacts, animal bones, coprolites, which are fossil feces, and fossil plants, archaeologists were able to determine changes in ways of life and cultures over time. So just take a look at that. I just want to show you that someone scratched off Native Americans. Obviously, they feel the same way that I do, that these were, Phoenicians or Europeans or the Sami, a group that is being hidden. So, that is it. Lovelock Cave. Okay, I'm at the Carson City, Nevada State Museum. It's very dark in here, and this is the replica of the Lovelock Cave. There's no mention of any red-haired people, and they basically have something about thieves of the past. Yeah, and then they have a cave stratigraphy. Now, they're stating that 2,000 years ago is the earliest dated Lovelock Cave duck decoy, significant but short. Overall, more than 20,000 artifacts.
They probably Men in Black desanitized the whole cave and took every relic possible.
60 bodies were dug up right down there.
Dude,
right
it's
there.
still green. Like someone's just chilling in the doorway.
Right.
Down here.
60 bodies
It's still
were
green.
dug up right down there.
Dude,
right
it's
there.
still green. Like someone's just chilling in the doorway.
Right. That doesn't have that long of a cool down time.
Oh, red.
Red.
He just went out.
They're
The green turned off.
They're coming this way. They're coming this way.
The green turned off and the red went out. Oh, the green again.
What? The actual bro. Of course we'd leave. EMF is going insane, bro. Insane.
Don't antagonize.
Don't antagonize. We're not trying to antagonize you whatsoever. Everything that we are doing is not to get you upset. Respect is what we came here to give you. What the f?
That was wild.
Is it because we're getting the evidence?
I don't know.
Is it because we're actually getting the facts?
Like we're getting close.
Do you want to handle this light? Because I keep up with it. Ground. The ground. All 60 piled. Okay, this may sound weird. A person goes to the bathroom in one specific spot, right? A person in the cave who lives in a cave will go to the bathroom in one specific spot. Now think of giants. They would bury bodies in one specific spot. They wouldn't just keep their place all dirty. They'd keep it a little bit nice and neat for them to actually not have to walk all over the bodies and stuff. Correct?
Well, it's just like animals when they, like cougars and bears when they eat.
They even do it too.
When they eat in caves, yeah, it's like a giant pile of dead stuff.
Exactly. Always. We are getting some of the best evidence we've ever gotten, and we are in a cave where none of us can see whatsoever.
Did you just hear that? Someone just walked.
Can anybody see that?
Yeah.
I can't.
I'm gonna try this one more time, the flashlight. I'm gonna set the flashlight right here. Maybe we could try this again.
The grave.
The grave! The f***ing grave, dude! We're where the 60 bodies
Down here.
60 bodies
It's still
were
green.
dug up.
The Giants in Lovelock Cave. Drop your thoughts below. What do you know about the Giants in Lovelock Cave?
Deep in this abandoned coal mine. But check out the fossil of this tree. Pretty cool. Still standing, still erect. Giggity. You're deep in this abandoned coal.
Is it a tree, or it could possibly be a mammoth tusk? Feast your eyes on this excellent specimen. Massive amethyst. This might be the largest one in the world. Look at this azurite. Only in Australia. It looks like someone flicked blue paint on a white rock, doesn't it?
When it comes to life, some people have just got the cheat codes. Never in a million years would I have thought to put a mini door through my garage into my pantry to unload groceries. Y'all are the definition of taking it to a whole nother level. When it comes to life, some people have just...
As long as you got a roof over your head, consider yourself blessed.
54 plus 54 is 108. 108 is 72 plus 36. Machu Picchu. 54 on each side. 54 plus 54 is 108. 108 is 72 plus 36. It's a precessional number. And the fascination with this number system and its discovery all around the world is one of the puzzles that intrigue me and suggests to me that we are looking at ancestral knowledge that was passed down and probably was passed down from a specific single common source. 54 on each side. 54 plus 50.
Those statues do look interesting. Where is that at?
Crazy that you're 72. Like you look like, I don't know, you look like you're 36 or something.
If you eat 1 meal a day and fast 3 days out of a month, he said, you'll hardly ever get sick. He said, but if you don't want to ever get sick, just eat 1 meal and then nothing the next day and then eat 1 meal every other day. At the most, you may get sick once every 2 or 3 years. But if you want to take it to another level, like the ancient patriarchs that lived to be 1,000 years of age? Did you know that before Noah, all the way from Adam to Noah, the average life expectancy for man was 912 years of age? Regular years the way we count them. Adam was 930 when he died. The oldest man in the scriptures named Methuselah, 969. How'd you live to be almost 1,000? He ate one meal, fasted 3 days, and then ate another meal. If you eat like that, you will never get sick. Your body will never have enough toxins to even make you sick.
It's crazy that you're 72. Like you look like, I don't know. You look like.
For some reason, I always feel the best when I fast. This golden chamber buried under a mountain in Japan contains water so pure it can dissolve metal. I wonder what the purpose is. Why are they trying to dissolve metal with pure water? What could be the benefits? Did NASA capture an alien megastructure? Watch this. Sphinx in Guatemala, you better believe it.
What in hell is that thing?
But Champ is camera shy, and the fishermen say this is the best picture they could get.
I'm 100%. What in hell is that thing?
But Champ is camera shy, and the fishermen say this is the best picture they could get.
What did they capture? The code word is giants. Put giants in the comments so I know you made it all the way through, and I just want to say thank you. I appreciate your support. This was the most disturbing videos on the internet today. See you tomorrow.